All set. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the May 7th regular meeting of the North Shore Board of Fire Commissioners. I'm sitting in as chair today in the absence of Commissioners Woolham and Byers. Our first order of business will be roll call.
All good.
Good evening, Commissioner Admin,
Here.
Commissioner Pratt,
Present.
Commissioner Byers is
He's on call. He'll zoom in as soon as he can.
absent for now, maybe joining later. Commissioner Webster,
Here.
Commissioner Woolham is absent. Chief Cohen, sorry.
It's okay. Here.
Legal counsel Matt Paxton,
Here.
and I'm board secretary Amy Oakley.
All right. Thank you, Amy. Our second order of business would be public comment. Do we have any submissions?
No submissions in advance. Let me just do one more check of my email.
No. Anyone in the virtual world wanting to have public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. All right, the chair would accept a motion to accept the agenda as approved.
So motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Okay,
And Commissioner Byers has just joined the meeting.
excellent. Okay, board discussion and action items, 4.1. Do we have a report out from the subcommittee on Station 54?
Sure. So we have contracted with a company for demolition, which we think will start towards the end of this month. And we have contracted for an inspection with a company to do the inspection of the drain line. I don't know what that ETA is on that. I don't remember if that was in any of the emails.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works. So, and then of course, depending on what they find, will dictate what we have to do for that.
And we only had 2 bids, I believe, for each of those
Yeah.
items. And we, the group had consensus on who we should select.
And we documented our efforts in getting
A third.
for which does happen now and then, and for auditing purposes that we went through and tried.
Copy. Okay, anything else? What are we on any kind of a timeline there? Is there an expected?
For the drain, I think it's in the next few weeks, but I'm not sure. I know that the demolition is scheduled for towards the end of this month, and
Okay.
that's not a solid date yet.
And are they able to do the drain work prior to the demo of the building, or does one happen to happen first?
They don't have to, the drain work doesn't have, it's not tied to the demolition. And the interesting and cool thing about the demolition is that they're gonna come back and backfill and so forth as well. So should be returning it close to pre-construction.
Yeah.
So as far as the drain work, I don't think that there's any impact there because the drain is quite distant from, I don't know, it's, yeah.
Okay.
So
So I don't think they'll interfere with each other.
Have we reached out to the community at all that uses that space for bus stop to let them know that they won't have access to that during demolition?
No.
I don't know if that would be an issue, because it's like 150 feet into the building and they don't have to block off that whole area.
Okay.
So we can just, I think we should contact our contractor and let them know.
Make sure they're sensitive to that.
That there's an area.
I don't know who to contact either. I mean, we could put a notice up, I suppose, or
There was a community organization. If we looked back at the notes from those meetings when we were discussing what to do, that they came and had representation at the meeting.
There's this school.
oh, yeah, actually, I do have a contact for, I don't know if I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if that's the same that would have that would be parenting the kids I know that there was a group that was interested in doing a garden. I don't know if that's the same.
I don't think so. There's the North Shore School District has a bus stop there. That's where we can start. See what.
Hey, Chief.
Yes.
I think there's a community member on here who might be a member of that community.
Oh, okay, perfect. I guess we just want to, I'm gonna contract I'll contact the contractor to make sure that they're sensitive to trying to keep that bus stop available as well, as long as it's safe and all that. If we can get the word out that this will be ongoing. It probably won't take very long to demo the building, I wouldn't think, but we'll wait to be determined. But it is supposed to start towards the end of this month.
Mr. Den, do you have a contact that we could reach out to, maybe a parent in the neighborhood, or is there a member from that community group that came and talked at our meeting?
I have an email list that I can get the word out to, and also would recommend that you think about calling the school district, because there
Yes.
are, I think, 3 or maybe 3 buses throughout the day that both in the morning and then again in the evening. So they would want to know. But
Yes.
if you leave 10 feet or something like that, for a temporary thing, I think it's going to be okay. And there's a metro bus stop right there too.
Thank you.
I think what we need to do is just make sure our contractor is where we want to block off that area. Say
Yeah.
But most of that bus stop is on the right of way of
Yeah.
the city anyway, so, and then we want to allow another 10 feet, maybe buffers. So
Sounds good. I'll let Chief Oakside know.
Great. Thanks, Chief. All right. Item 4.2, report out from the subcommittee on the outbuilding at Station 51.
That's kind of taken a little bit of a back burner with the focus on 54, but now that we're starting to get things rolling on 54, I spoke with Chief Oakstein, and he's going to make it a priority to start, back up. I believe where we're at is going out for an RFP for architectural services.
Correct.
that's where we.
I think that's where it left.
Okay, and report out from the RFA Planning Committee. Commissioner Webster, or
Okay,
We all are there.
we met yesterday, and yesterday was more of a communication, set up future meetings. We had a presentation by Brian Sneer that walked through the process for us, where to start, and some of the things that we have to work through. One of the things that came up is that a lot of the snags to an RFA has already been taken care of because we're already a combined organization. So,
Speak up, please.
okay, so, sorry, I'm over that. Anyway, so, we're, like I said, the labor part of it, of the equation of RFA is already taken care of pretty much. We're all under one union, all that goes on. What we have to look at, is governance is a big thing. So I think our next meeting is set up for the 20th of May, and we will be starting the process of talking about the governance for the RFA. And then the second item that seemed to be prominent that we will be working on is a name for the RFA, because that can be a sticking point. So those are the 2 big things we came up with. And the third item was we'll talk about for the next item on the deal was co-representation from our attorneys.
Yeah. So legal counsel did a nice job of guiding us through the step-by-step process. We established meetings on a monthly basis with the goal of being finished in early February so that we can get it onto the April ballot. So any questions on that process? Commissioner Admin?
Yeah, I just have a question about getting information out, like on our website or just to the public about what this means, what's happening, all that. I don't know if we have a web page set up specifically dedicated to this, or I know there's a FAQ right now, but I think to the extent that we can get the education process going and just be transparent about meetings, what's happening, and so on, I think that would benefit us.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Commissioner Admin, and that's on the agenda for that first meeting. And the plan is not to have an independent website, but to have a link through our existing website with frequently asked questions, meeting agendas, and to establish some opportunities for community involvement and feedback, reaching out to the local city councils. So all that is on our radar, but hasn't been decided on exactly when and how that happens quite yet.
Okay, and then question, will the committee come back to the board, the whole board, with discussions on like the governance model and so on before making decisions?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Paxton, any feedback on that process or comments?
No, I think you guys are in good hands, Brian. I understand that I may be involved in some way, but Brian and I work closely on these types of matters, so I'll just stay in the background for now.
Okay. Any other comments or questions concerning our report? Okay. Item 4.4, approval of legal representation for the RFA Planning Committee. So since Mr. Schnur and Mr. Paxton both are affiliated with each other, Mr. Paxton represents North Shore, Mr. Schnur represents Shoreline. We need to, and then as a general rule, the planning committee will also have its own representation. But the plan is to have joint representation by Mr. Schnur for the planning committee as well as for Shoreline. And we have a contract drawn up already. We just need approval by the board to move forward with that plan. So I'd open up for discussion prior to voting on that. Thoughts, comments, concerns? Mr. Paxton, would you like to fill in any gaps that I've missed there as far as how that process functions?
Yeah, I guess I just call your attention to the very last, one of the last two paragraphs in that letter. It talks about how the billing will be handled. That's probably the most important decision for the board. Obviously, the disclosures of the potential conflicts are important, and your informed consent. But we just want to be clear that the plan is to bill it 50-50 between the two districts. So that kind of gets to the dollars and cents of the matter.
We also have the ability, should things deteriorate, to separate out representation as well.
Yeah, we just have to find a third
Correct
party to run the RFA process at that point.
All right. Commissioner Byers, Commissioner Admin, anything? Nope. Okay. Entertain a motion to accept the contract from Schnur Law Office.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept this letter of representation as presented, the May 7th letter.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, seeing no further discussion, I'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you.
Matt, I've signed the document and I'll leave it with Amy. Or should I keep it myself? I could keep it myself.
You signed both.
This is, I will say, this is the first time I've signed in two places on the same document.
I'll just. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And then that should probably be posted online too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be included with the meeting materials,
Thank you.
and then, Mr. Paxton, I'll email you and Brian the PDF copy. If that works.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Item 4.5, update on fire commissioner clothing. I think that's Commissioner Admin.
Yes, I've emailed with each of you. Commissioner Woolham already is outfitted, and it looks like the vendor will have a black polo and a black jacket for each of the remaining 4 commissioners in advance of our pancake feed on June 1st.
Good job. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, and item 4.6, discussion of next steps for our August levy lid lift ballot measure.
Thank you. So, we do have a page on the website. I think that's what, Commissioner Admin was referencing as far as the FAQs. We don't have an FAQ on the RFA yet, Eric. But
Okay.
we do have, I'm planning on doing a very similar thing for the RFA as to what we've already set up for the lid lift, which is a button on the front page that takes to a page that will have that'll have everything that we have, that we're working on or developing for the RFA. But on the lid lift, I put the word out, website, Facebook, local paper, the Bothell Kenmore Reporter. There was no interest in a con committee, but there was interest in a pro committee. So I submitted to the county the requisite forms to establish the pro committee. And I explained to them what we had done, and we submitted the explanatory statement and all the other stuff. They have till the county has till the 10th. They are going to reach out to volunteers to potentially form up a con committee. Explanatory statements, or I'm sorry, not explanatory. The committee statements are due by I want to say the 14th. So if they do form up a con committee, then there will be a con statement. If they can't form up a con committee, there will just be a pro statement. And then if there is a con committee, then by the 14th, they have to submit statements, and they have I believe another week to rebut the other statements.
14th of May?
Yes.
Okay, so they got a week.
Yeah, it moves pretty quickly. And then they will reach out to me for once they have the pamphlet proofed, for me to take a look at that. I don't know what I would be doing with it. I mean, it's the county setting it up, but if there is some error or something like that, then so be it. I believe that's about it. There was a question that came up. It is a simple majority for passing the lid lift. It doesn't need to be validated. I think that's it. Was there any questions?
Thanks for not that.
Commissioner Admin, Commissioner Byers? Nope. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. No board resolutions. Item 6, consent agenda. To entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Nope. All right, let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 And aye. Okay. Passes unanimously. Item 7, reports. Chief Cowan?
Were there any questions about my report?
I think you actually covered it really well, I thought.
Thanks. All right,
Nothing additional? Questions?
any questions?
Okay. Any commissioner reports?
We already covered in our main discussion.
Legal counsel?
Yeah, this is the time of year in June and July when the laws from last year go into effect. I'll just call your attention to one in particular related to competitive bidding. This is effective June 30th. The bidding thresholds for public works will be going up, as well as an increased ability of the fire district to self-perform work with its own laborers. Let's say you have mechanics on staff or something like that. There's also changes to the small works roster and brand new apprenticeship utilization requirements. This might not mean a ton to the commission, except for those bidding thresholds are important for the commissioners to know. But this is something that could be incorporated into a policy. I'm not sure if the chief has already started probably working on this. He's probably aware of these changes, but it's something to consider whether you want to increase your thresholds by policy to kind of align with the state thresholds.
Mr. Paxton, is it possible to design the policy to just each year match the state's threshold?
You mean to like?
Yeah,
Yes, correct.
yeah. In general, that's probably possible. This year, there were pretty big changes, especially to the small works roster. It really changed the entire way that process works. So the bidding thresholds, right? You have to have at least $150,000 of work or less in order for it to avoid future competitive bidding requirements for multi-trade contractors, for example. We could design language that would track that annually, and you would only have to come back to revisit that policy for more substantive changes in the law rather than just updating the number.
So is this something that we should put on the agenda, work through?
I
Or is
know
it-
that it's on BOFA and Chief Hochstein's radar. I think it's important that we make sure that we keep our policies aligned. Hopefully, if the RFA occurs, we won't have to revisit it again because we'll have one set of policies, but if you'd like, I can certainly submit what the changes are, for you guys to take a look at and
Let's do
make sure
that.
that
Just
you're
stay on top of it. So
sure. I'll make a note.
That's my legal update. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Upcoming board agenda items. Amy, can you update us on what's on the current list?
Yes, so I just received an email from the Washington State Auditor requesting a closeout meeting, a special meeting of the commissioners to do an exit conference for fiscal years 2021 and 2022. I emailed her back asking if this could be incorporated into the June 4th agenda, but she hasn't replied, so I just did it while we were here. But she did throw out some other dates, so I wonder if we want to pick a date, hold it, and then if they can just join on June 4th, then we cancel that special meeting.
Okay.
So the dates are Tuesday, May 28th, they're available between 1:30 and 3 p.m. Thursday, May 30th, between 12:30 and 3, or Friday, May 31st, between 9 and noon and 1:30 and 3.
So Commissioner Woolham and I will be out of town at the conference in Chelan, the 30th and 31st. I don't know if that matters or not, but because we could still potentially have a quorum, but it'd be good to have us all here.
the 29th Wednesday, would that
She didn't offer the 29th,
I think it was the 28th.
28th between 33.
This is for an exit conference, exit meeting.
Yeah, it's usually,
Typically, they come to our commissioner meetings.
Yeah, they usually
As a
do.
general rule. The two I've been involved in, they came to a regular
They just,
scheduled
they
meeting.
just came
We've had-
a few weeks ago to the, to the shoreline.
Yeah. they did previous to.
So I'm kind of curious as to why they're not aligning with one of our board meetings.
Yeah, so Amy, let's reach out, say that the dates suggested don't work. We would really like them to come to a regularly scheduled
Okay.
commissioner meeting.
And we could set them up at the front end of our meetings.
Yeah.
And they did it, the last time they did it by Zoom, so it's not like they're traveling.
And we put them in first and it was only like
Right.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We had a couple of questions we had to answer.
So I'll follow up,
Okay.
offer June 4th at 5 o'clock.
Can you find out if there's any issues too? I haven't heard anything, so.
So I'll keep you posted.
Mr. Paxton, are we out of line in our approach to this?
No, this is fine. You guys are doing, yeah, I think that they do usually attend your meetings, and I also hope there's no audit issues.
Haven't heard anything, but sometimes I'm the last to know.
Well, so at the next regular meeting will be Tuesday, June 4th at 5 o'clock here at Station 51. We'll have the regular standard agenda items, which I'm gonna say now include also subcommittee reports on Station 54, 51, outbuildings, RFA Planning Committee. We'll also have a status update about the levy lid lift ballot measure and a discussion of hopefully an audit exit interview. Do you want me to also include about the finance policy and changes to the law?
Yeah.
So updating. the policy.
Commissioners, anything else that you'd like to see on the agenda? Okay.
Academy graduation this Friday,
All right,
pancake breakfast on the 1st. I know.
excellent, yeah. Sorry to miss. I know that Commissioner Admin flips a mean man flapjack. All right, without objection, we've reached the end of our agenda and we are adjourned.